computer. Awesome. And we will make the official good morning now.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Zoom today.
I know we've said good morning a few times to people and thanked people again for being able to quickly adapt and go to Zoom instead of Facebook Live this morning as we were having issues with. I mean, it's almost every time. I mean, I start this like an hour and a half ago, prepping for this, getting ready, getting the systems all set up. Checking technology. We got lights going and I mean, all kinds of stuff. And then you go to Facebook Live and make sure that's working properly with Zoom. And then it gives you it just kicks you out. I'm like, oh my gosh, Paul, you try it. Nope, kicking him out.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always something.
But hey, it gives us an opportunity to.
We prefer Zoom and seeing you guys, but we were watching the numbers when we were just doing it Zoom only. The numbers went down compared to Facebook Live went up because we know that people are like, I don't want to be online.
Screen.
I don't want to be on screen. So anyway, good to see you guys. Paul, why don't you read that quote for us?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Good to see so many of you online. And as we do with every meeting, we'll start with a couple motivational quotes to keep you going. And this one is from Brian Johnson and the Heroic Optimize Me program, which definitely check that out. So our quote today, 6 months from now, you will either have 6 months of excuses or 6 months of progress. The path you choose is yours and yours alone. What a good quote.
Yeah,
I see a few head nods.
Yeah, I saw some
morning.
head nods. Like, yeah, it's amazing how quickly 6 months will go too. It's like, what the heck? Where did that go? Was I on track? Did I do what I was saying I was going to do?
Did I take 1 foot and step forward? Am I making progress?
Yeah,
that
really
That Netflix show is looking pretty appealing. Should I watch that or should I make some phone calls?
Exactly. Do I stay up a little bit late binge watching and get out of bed a little bit later in the morning and maybe I don't quite get everything done?
Yeah, it's so relatable. And that is our message to you. Go out there and win the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So piggybacking on that,
I'll let you do the next one.
Yeah.
We're still bringing in people. So
that's perfect.
So,
yeah, happy to do it. And, some of you might have seen Todd's post for this one, but this is another awesome quote. Same thing, heroic Brian Johnson. Busy isn't what gets rewarded long-term in the marketplace. Productive is. The most successful people don't get everything done. They get the most important things done. That's another heavy one. Good one. Not heavy. Heavy as in powerful. Great, great message there.
Yeah, I saw some comments when we posted that to Facebook, and I bet there are people who weren't commenting on it, but were shaking their head as well, going, yeah, priorities. What are my priorities? It's so easy to do the fun things first and leave the most important things for last. And they never get taken care of because we only have so much willpower. And by the time you're ready to go do the hard stuff, it's like, I'm tired and I do want to watch some Netflix. So yeah, getting the most important things done. That's important. Anyway, good stuff.
What are our most important things? Let's just talk about that for a couple of seconds. Is it our customer service hat that is the most important, or what is our most important?
I mean, I think any business, I don't care what business it is, any business, if you don't have customers, if you don't have clients, I don't care if you have the best coffee or if you have the most outstanding pasta or you're the best real estate agent. If you don't have anyone to sell that to, serve, help, you're not in business. So yeah.
Lead generation.
Lead generation is always the most important thing.
So if you're a to-do list person and you like to sit down and write down all the things you want to get accomplished, write your to-do list and then take the lead generation pieces and put them at the top and do those first.
It sounds so simple.
But it's hard.
But yeah, that's the most important part, but that's a great quote. And for those of you who don't know about Heroic, check out heroic. What is it? Heroic.me?
Optimize.me.
Optimize.me. So we'll probably revisit that later in the year or first part of next year and kind of go back over some of
Heroic
that.
is a division of Optimize, which you've heard us talking a lot about. But yeah, they have a new platform out, a lot of great materials, quotes, books, audio recordings, videos, lots of training, and they now have an app out to help you keep organized and stay on track. So yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, we'll revisit that. So anyway, great quotes. Welcome everybody. Again, we've had a lot of people just join us here recently. And yeah, it's nice to see that you guys could quickly adapt and hop on to Zoom this morning with us. And again, we'll put this back on Facebook. We do have some new agents. Again, Paul, I've got things in front of my screen here, so I'm going to let you say that.
I would love to welcome everybody. So there's a couple of people I'll quickly introduce, and I think there's a few people who haven't sent me their business photo. So if you're missing from this screen, be sure to send me your photo. But a couple new agents here, Rick Siddiqui. Welcome. He's an Air Force.
Online with us this morning.
Yes,
welcome, Rick.
And I just want to give an extra shout out to Rick for not being a wallflower and hiding, but I mean, he just jumped right in. He's on Facebook saying hi to people. And
yeah, he's integrated himself in beautifully.
I love it. I mean, we got such a great group. Everyone's so friendly here. So those of you who are new, jump in, and yeah, you're going to be warmly welcomed.
Yeah. Thanks for being online, Rick. Good to see you. And we've also got Rebecca Stark, another great person. She was a high school teacher, and now she's getting into real estate. Really fun, interesting person. And of course, Janet Gunther and Tia Cross, you guys might recognize their faces. They were previously with Equity, tried some things out, and they were so eager to come on back, and they're already plugging back into the roundtable discussions, and we're just so happy to have them back. Welcome back, Janet and Tia. And last but certainly not least, Stephen Mcclinton, another great guy, new to the industry, musical background, so he's great with networking and building an independent contractor style business, being a musician. So lots and lots of great people we're adding to our team. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Good to have everyone here. And bringing in Greg Tiffin, agent referrals. Again, so appreciate you guys, telling people that you enjoy working with in the industry and sharing who we are here at Equity. And so thank you, Rose and Anna and Don and Brianna, for your referrals. Just, really appreciate you guys. We're not out there flying balloons in the air trying to hire people. We really, I'd say 60-70% of the people that join our company are from you guys. So, thanks again. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. We do have
Brianna
Amir and Brianna with OHN Home Loans. That is our in-company lender, which means I own it along with Amir, own the company. And we brought it to you guys so that we could, have control over transactions and doing mortgages and giving you guys awesome service. And Amir and Brianna have done a fabulous job. And I'm not sure what you guys are chatting about today, but we'll bring you guys on, and I will. Do you need to share screen, Amir?
Yeah, we just have a couple quick slides here and just a real quick little 5-minute talk we'd like to give. So if we could share screen, that'd be awesome.
All right, let me give you screen share. There you go.
All right, thank you. And let's see here. Hopefully this, how does that look? Everybody, can you read that okay?
You're not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing it. Are you seeing it, Paul?
I think, Todd, you're going to have to stop your screen share, I believe, in order for Amir to start his. There we go. Now we're seeing you.
All right.
Ooh,
hopefully
nice looking coffee there.
So hopefully you can see that. And we don't have any like weird love candles on or anything. I'm not sure why we look so pink on this Zoom call, but we're just here with normal lighting. I think something to do with the background lighting. But I'm Amir Razi, and this is Brianna Collette here next to me. We are your in-house lending partners here at OHN Home Loans. And today, I just want to really just kind of give a brief introduction of who we are and just a quick market update. I don't think a lot of agents realize what we're here for, what we do, all the services that we support you with. And before I get into that, I just would like to touch quickly on a little bit of a summer update to the lending landscape. What's happening, obviously, the beginning of the year brought a very quick change to interest rates. And we are finally starting to see rates level off a bit. And why is that happening? Well, if your buyer asks you why, or your seller or whoever it is, really the primary driver right now, just like everything in the economy, is inflation. Any inflation data that comes out heavily influences what happens to mortgage rates. And there was some new CPI data that just came out this morning, which came in much better than expected. And when investors see that, they start to get kind of happy because they are assuming that the Federal Reserve is going to see that and say, you know what? Our rate increases worked. We don't need to keep raising interest rates because inflation looks like it's starting to get under control. And that is the primary driver for mortgage rates and of course, all other rates right now is what's happening with inflation. So short of like a meteor, strike hitting some random city or something, inflation is what is controlling interest rates. And right now there's some promising data. So we are seeing rates leveling out, which is great, and even really kind of dropping from where rates were just a month ago. So we're kind of at April levels right now as far as mortgage rates. We are also starting to see a lot of creativity. Mortgage applications for the entire industry are down quite a bit. So we're seeing a lot of lenders get creative to incentivize buyers to kind of come back into the marketplace. So we're seeing a lot more products. We're seeing a lot of 2-1 buy downs. This is a really big one we're seeing locally here right now is the 2-to-1 buy down. If you don't know what that is, give us a call, shoot us a text. We'll be happy to tell you what it is. So a lot of other niche products too. Are these products good for your buyer? And is your buyer going to be happy if they buy a house with one of these products? Are they going to be happy in a year or two when their payment changes? That depends on the loan officer that is educating them on these things. Is your loan officer just kind of marketing something to get a deal done? Or is your loan officer watching out for them and for you because you recommended that loan officer? Are they watching out for you in the long run? Because a year or two down the road, guess who they're going to remember when their payment adjusts? And are they equipped to handle that? So make sure they are educated, whether you're doing a loan with Wells Fargo, Chase, Fairway, Cherry Creek, whoever it is, make sure that your buyer is getting educated properly and they understand the loan product that they're getting into. Yes, it's great to get a transaction done, but it can do more harm than good if it's not done with the proper education. So just keep your eye out on those niche products. If you don't understand them, reach out to me, reach out to Brianna. We can give you our take on this. I've been doing this 20 years, so I've seen all the varieties of all these things and can give you a really quick way to educate your buyers on whether or not they should be using some kind of special product that just has a low intro payment. The best thing with this market, in my opinion, is buyers are having a much easier time buying. We are seeing contingent offers getting accepted. Beth, I don't know if you're on this call or not, but we just got a contract in today, contingent offer. And we're starting to see that happen more often now. It's nice to see people accepting contingent offers again. Appraisal gaps are disappearing. More seller concessions. So there's a lot of things now that buyers have that they didn't have a few months ago. And that, I think, is an important part of the discussion because there's a lot of buyers still on the sidelines, not sure what's going to happen. And there's a lot of great things now that you can use to incentivize buyers to buy. So don't want to be too long-winded, but just a few lending updates. Real quick, we offer a lot of tools, a lot of support for equity agents that I don't think anybody has any idea that we do. We're just going to do a really quick summary. But the one takeaway I'd love for you guys to take from this talk is that we have an agent orientation class that we're going to be hosting here. I'm going to release the fall schedule here within the next week or two of these agent orientation classes so that you really can have a good understanding of everything that we provide to equity agents. So before I talk about that scheduling and how to get on that list so you can be a part of that, Brianna is going to talk a little bit about some of the listing and marketing support that we offer. So I'm just going to scooch on over here and let Brianna slide in and just kind of take over.
Hey guys, good morning. Good to see everybody. Yes, we have really great tools and a lot of really great business support that we offer for equity agents. And we want to see more agents taking advantage of some of these things that we offer. I think a big one that a lot of agents have really been excited about, but haven't necessarily been able to take advantage of, but starting to make a comeback are open houses and that open house support package that we have. We will provide all of the refreshments, bring that to the open house, help you get the lights on, help with sign placement in the neighborhood. Custom flyers for that open house with payment scenarios can be created for you. We'll bring those and help you get everything set up, even co-host that open house with you. So you're not by yourself. Someone's there to do on the spot pre-quals, answer lending questions as buyers are coming in to see your open house. We also do a lot of co-branded marketing support. There's some great tools in KV Core. We use Color Productive, a lot of great options for having custom marketing materials created. But maybe what you don't know is that we'll share those costs with you. So if you're looking at doing a flyer, some mailers, postcards, maybe we can help you get those created and then share that expense so that you can get out there and send to more potential buyers and just increase your visibility. We also do co-sponsorship of events, and we love this one. This one's so much fun. We just did one in June with Crystal Warschmidt. That was a huge success. Client appreciation events, love doing these. Maybe a summer kickoff or end of summer celebration where you're just getting in front of your sphere and inviting some of your potential clients to come. We want to co-host those with you and co-sponsor that. So helping you with the setup and bringing tents, the beverages, helping with a raffle, perhaps anything that we can do to make that event more successful. And classes, you guys, classes are huge for agents, just another great opportunity to be in front of folks that are potential buyers. So first-time home buyer education, credit repair and cleanup. We can bring the content and help you put all those together so you're not on your own and just make sure that those are really successful. It's just a great way for you to be in front of more people. Even if we just do those online, we can help with those kinds of classes and those great things. So those are just some. There's more. We're happy to explore any ideas or options that you want to take a look at, but just some of the ways that OHN Home Loans can come alongside equity agents to support the business. And Amir is going to tell you about some of the great lending support that we offer.
Yes, and I'll be quick. I have a feeling we're past our time here. So I can see Todd's expression. I know his expression's pretty well now.
We might have built in a little extra time that we didn't tell you
Knowing
about.
that Amir likes to share a lot of valuable information.
Okay, so I'll go through these quickly. But obviously we can pre-approve your buyers. I think a lost art is doing it in person. We're right here in the equity office. We're literally sitting probably 15 feet away from Paul as we talk to you now. If you want to bring a buyer in and just have that great experience for everybody, get them to know their obviously real estate team, their lending team, and just put it all together for them. I think it helps the transaction immensely. So we can do that. We'd love to do that for you. Obviously, we can answer general lending questions, evaluate pre-approval letters if you get multiple offers in. If you have something complex that an underwriter needs to look at, we can send it to an underwriter, get it evaluated. and so many other things. Too many things to talk about. Again, if you are interested in attending some of our agent orientations, where we can talk about all these things, all the other things we do, go into detail. We have a cool cash buyer program that just came out. All kinds of fun stuff. Please email, call, or text us. We are super responsive and would love to help you. And thank you guys for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Amir.
thank
Thanks,
you guys
Brianna.
so much. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
good stuff.
it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you shared. There's a lot of things that you guys do, and we have a lot of agents that have been using you, and then you kind of get stuck, not stuck, but you're using all those people and they're all working together, and we forget to tell all the other people all the great stuff. So thank you for sharing all that.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's go back to, oh, that's a big group. Thanks again. We had a lot of people who have signed on since we started the beginning, and just want to thank you guys again for the last minute.
Hopping on Zoom.
Hopping
with us.
on Zoom. I mean, it just, Facebook changes their thing all the time, and it just doesn't make life easy sometimes.
So yeah, thanks for being flexible.
Thanks for being on Zoom with us. Market stats.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on. You know, we've been saying for months, the market's shifting, be prepared, sharpen your skills, get your buyers off the fence, get your sellers on the market. And I can officially say the market has shifted. We're no longer saying the market's going to shift, the market has shifted. And I think it's in a very, very positive manner. So let's take a look at the numbers, and then we'll talk a little bit about what buyers are expecting right now and kind of what seller expectations should be. So I think one of the most significant things that we saw for the month of July, these are our July statistics, is that our active listings at the end of the month were almost 22% higher than the prior month, and almost 82% higher than this time last year. 82% more listings on the market than last year.
That's huge. I mean, it was just 6 months ago, we were talking, oh my gosh, there's nothing to sell.
Yeah.
6 months later,
here we are. So a year ago, there were roughly 4,000 listings on the market. We ended July with about 7,300. This is what our buyers and many realtors out there have been praying for. So we're finally getting what we were requesting, which is a good thing. So our closed home sales were down compared to last month by about 22%. 31% from the year previous. And it's not because there's a lack of inventory, it's because there was that interest rate spike and some buyers decided just to kind of hang tight and see what's going on. So we've got more listings coming on the market, we've got a little less demand, and that's giving us some extra days on market. So right now we have our average days on market at 13. We were at 4 last year. So we're still in an amazing market. Although days on market are up 30% from last month and 44% from a year ago, that's giving buyers the opportunity to walk through a home, think about it overnight, view a few other properties, and strategically make an offer a few days later without appraisal gaps, without throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the seller. That's a really nice position for buyers to be in. For sellers, they just need to be a little more patient. So when you're sitting down with a seller and going over your listing presentation, rather than saying we're going to have 40 showings between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're likely going to have 10 offers to review Sunday evening, and we'll be putting you under contract over asking price by Monday morning. It's more of a conversation of, it's probably going to take 2 to 3, maybe even 4 weeks to get you under contract. If we're able to achieve full price or really close to full price, that is a win. And in order to do that, we're going to have to be very strategic with how we price your property, because what your neighbor sold for 4 months ago is not the price that we're going to get. So setting those expectations up front will help sellers with that anxiety. And there's a lot of information on the news right now that's helping to set that tone that things are not going to sell before you even put the sign in the yard. So that's good news. The other statistic that I wanted to show you, which shows the transition in the marketplace, is down in the bottom of the screen. I've circled it in red. We've got our close to list price ratio. So for July, we were just over 100% of asking prices. So when homes are priced correctly, they are selling for full price. A year ago, we were around 104%. Some houses selling 105 and 106% over asking price. So we're getting to a lot more stable of an environment, which is really good to see. Next slide. So real quickly, I wanted to just kind of show you where we peaked this year. And the yellow bar is going to be our detached single family home numbers. These run back from July 2021 all the way to July 2022. And so you'll see the blue is the attached. So your condos, townhomes, multifamily. The peak was pretty much in April. That's when we hit the height. And then we've slowly been dipping just a tiny bit. And it's not that homes aren't still appreciating. They're still appreciating at a fairly rapid rate, but prices have declined just a little bit because we're no longer going 5% over asking price. So listing prices are still up for this year, a little over 11%. Last year, we saw an 18% increase. So it's not that our homes are losing value. It's just that they're not going up at an 18% incline. We'll probably see something more between that 8 and 10% by the time we get to the end of the year. So values still go up, but just not as quickly. And the couple other fun facts that I have, sorry, we didn't have a transition slide there, but a couple other quick statistics just to give you guys a good feel for the market. On average, active listings in July are almost 16,000. So although our percentage is a little bit higher compared to last month, we're only at 7,000, which is half of what the average is typically this time of year. Our record high number of listings was back in 2006, which was July 2006, and we were at 32,000 listings. So we're a long way from that. Our record low was set last year in July when we only had 4,000 listings on the market. Historically, our average increase in active listings from June to July is about 4%. So we're seeing a really nice, healthy increase this year with a 22% increase, which we really, really needed. So with that, showings are easier to schedule right now. When you're making a showing, last year we were seeing properties hit the market and you couldn't even get a showing time scheduled fast enough before they all got gobbled up. So now you actually have flexibility in making showings. Showing windows are much longer rather than 15 and 30-minute increments. We're kind of back to that hour window, which is really nice. And if you have a buyer that has something that comes up and they have to cancel a showing, you're now able to actually reschedule those, where last year it was like you either get in or you don't. Sellers are starting to pay down interest rates for buyers as incentives rather than doing some price reductions. We're also seeing HOAs prepaid. We're seeing seller concessions, and we're also seeing contingent offers, which we'll talk a little bit about today. Buyers have the opportunity to be more thoughtful about their offer process and how they're going to structure their offer. And about 40% of homes right now are having a price reduction before they actually go under contract, which means one of two things. Either the seller's expectations haven't quite leveled off with the current market, or us realtors aren't doing a good job of explaining what the market is and determining what prices are. But once those price reductions have been made, those properties are going under contract pretty quickly. So right now we're all kind of trying to feel out what is that sweet spot. And so just be aware of that. And if you're looking for ways to reach out and stay in touch with your clients this year, nearly half of homeowners this year will either remodel or renovate their home. So it might be a good idea to do an item of value, a postcard and newsletter that talks about fall maintenance tips, home remodeling tips, best investments, kitchens and bathrooms, things, colors and trends for the year, because our homeowners are really going to benefit from that. I think that's all I've got.
Paul.
I think there might be a specific text message or email back there in KV Core about renovations that is sent automatically.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Planting that bug.
Yeah, there are a few of those. So yeah, good point. So any questions about market stats while we're just chatting about the market?
Yeah, it's a lot of information.
ton
and
of
I threw a
information.
lot out at you, but we'll make sure you get copies of these slides. But yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them while we're sitting here.
And you can actually chat too. I mean, you can actually,
Yeah, you can.
we're
you
actually
can
on Zoom. We're
unmute
not on
yourself
Facebook.
if
You can
want,
actually, unmute and
if you're brave enough to speak.
yes. If not, we'll go on to the next. It was perfect that Amir mentioned it too, about contingent offers being accepted now. I mean, that was like, no way. No, just a few months ago was no way. Now we're seeing a lot of them. So I'll go back to our sharing our screen and we'll go back to our next topic, which is, market shifts, contingent offer scenarios.
So yeah, like Todd mentioned, I mean, just a few months ago, we were saying, hey, if your buyer has a home to sell, they're either going to need to get it on the market, get it under contract, get it closed, do a post occupancy so that they can come in with a non-contingent offer, or they're going to have to figure out some sort of a housing solution to keep from writing a contingent offer. And now that the market has shifted, we are seeing days on market a little bit higher. Sellers are more apt to consider these sorts of contingencies. So let's talk a little bit about what a contingent offer is and how you actually structure it.
So a contingent offer, and in the most simple manner that we're going to first talk about, is the buyer has a home that they need to sell in order to get financed. Maybe they need the down payment, maybe they just can't get the financing, but regardless, I live on Elm Street. I want to buy the house over on Pine. I have to sell my house and I'm going to write an offer that's subject to me getting my home sold. And again, like I said, a few months ago, we weren't even saying that I had to get financed. I was practically waiving financing, doing some kind of a cash or just taking the full risk of my earnest money that I'm going to figure out how to get financed. Well, now buyers are not feeling that motivated to take those kind of risks, and they understand that sellers are a little more adaptable to the new market and are accepting conditional sales. So 10.7, which we haven't seen for many years, people looking at this, but 10.7 says,
and this is in the contract to buy and sell.
Yes, contract to buy and sell. Buyers writing this up. This contract is conditional upon the sale and closing that certain property owned by the buyer and commonly known as, there's my Elm Street. Buyer has the right to terminate under 24.1 effective upon seller's receipt of buyer's notice to terminate on or before conditional sale deadline. If such property is not sold and closed by such deadline, this section is for the sole benefit of buyer. If seller does not receive buyer's notice to terminate on or before, then buyer waives the right to terminate under provision. So, this could be a couple different ways. I could be a buyer who hasn't even put his home on the market because I'm scared my house is going to sell too quickly. I see this other home. I'm going to write up an offer subject to me selling my property. I fill out 10.7 and I can present this to the seller and they're like, well, geez, you haven't even got this on the market. It's like, well, no, I haven't put this on the market yet. I think it's going to sell real quick. And a good buyer's agent, would probably present a CMA to the listing agent and show them what the average days on market in that area where the buyer's home is. Maybe it's, a move up home, and maybe I'm selling my house in the 4s or 5s, which is still flying out the door. And maybe I'm buying up in the 1 millions and that's a little slower. And that seller might say, yeah, I'll take my house off the market, but that's what happens. This is a fully executed contract subject to me getting my home sold. So I've got two major contingencies really now. I've got the contingency that I'm going to get financed, and I got a contingency that I'm going to sell my property. So from the seller side, you've really got to weigh, what is that person selling? And am I willing to have my seller take their home off the market, knowing that this other person has to get their house sold?
Yeah, and we're seeing these contingent offers typically on homes that have been on the market 2 weeks or more. If a seller's just hit the market and only been on the market maybe for a 48-hour period of time, there's a high likelihood that they're going to say, I kind of want to test out the market and see if I can get a non-contingent offer. But if something's been sitting for a little bit, or it's in a higher price point or a really unique area, maybe on the outskirts of town, these contingent offers are working fantastically.
Which I'm amazed. I mean, it's
Yeah,
such
but
a,
it
that's a
just-
huge shift.
It shows how much demand has slowed. When you have 20 offers, you don't have to take a contingent offer. When you don't have any offers or only one offer, then contingencies make sense. And, you know, as a listing agent, it's important to vet that buyer and make sure that they do have, you know, a really good agent that's helping them price their property, and, you know, that they're very, very serious. Because if your client is going to take their home off the market for 30 days, 45 days. Sometimes these contingencies are 60 days because you need time to get the home on the market, the contingent home, get it under contract and get it closed, and then get the second property closed. There, you know, it can take 6 to 8 weeks to do. So that's a really long time to be off the market. I mean, look how much our market's changed in 60 days. What's it going to be like 60 days from now? So
yeah, I would really, really talk with your seller about the pros and cons of doing this.
Yeah.
Obviously, from a buyer's perspective, it's a great thing if I can have another contingency and another way to not move forward in the event that I can't get my home sold.
yeah, so let's just run through a couple of those pros and cons real quick. So what's a pro? Maybe the home has been on the market for a couple of weeks, and rather than doing a price reduction, a contingent offer comes in at full price or over asking price with a 45-day close. Hey, that's a pro. I can get my home under contract at the price that I want. Let's just do some vetting to make sure, is this other home on the market? If it is it under contract? If it is it past inspection, past appraisal, past loan? I mean, you can do some really secure contingent offers if they're past a lot of the major milestones on the other side. So walking through that stuff. A con?
Well, let's go stick with that. So good thing for seller if they really vet it, but you can counter as well. So you could counter and say, I want your home to be listed
By X date.
within 3 days. I want to see the CMA and see the pricing and approve the price. I mean, what if that buyer lists their house, you know, $100,000 more than what the buyer's agent recommended, and then the CMA that they showed you, and they gave you all this great information, and then they put a crazy price. So, I mean, you could counter as a seller, lots of little parameters to kind of tighten that up and make sure that they're making some good decisions on the listing end of the home that they have to sell to buy your home. So you can kind of tighten that thing up. Pro, I mean, I guess one other pro, because you're kind of doing a favor as a seller, you're like, I'm kind of giving you a lot of rope here. I mean, you've got a lot of ways to get out of this. I'm going to ask a little bit more for my house. So if they didn't,
a premium.
Yeah, if they didn't come in at full price, it's like, I'm going to counter. I mean, this isn't the golden buyer, cash, conventional, ready to go. So as a buyer, you might be paying a little bit more, and you might be willing to. As a buyer, you're like, geez, if I could really get this, I'll pay an extra 10 grand, 15 grand, depending on the price range, just so that I can get my offer accepted, because it's worth it to me to have that security of, I don't have to put my house on the market before I find something. I mean, we have clients that like are nervous to put their homes on the market because what if I can't find something? Well, now I found something. What if I can't buy something because I haven't put my house on the market?
It's a catch-22. And I know we've all been juggling this for years now. It's been that same problem.
So yeah, we can play with this. Cons.
So the major con is that your seller accepts the offer, you go under contract, and 3 weeks down the road, the contingent sale falls apart. And now that buyer is back to square one of trying to get their home under contract, and they say, hey, can you extend closing? We're not going to be able to close on. So yeah, the whole transaction falling apart. And whether you have to extend or whether you have to come back on the market and find a new buyer, now your days on market are higher, which sends a slight red flag to buyers. Why have you been on the market for 65 days? And it's really hard to combat that. Prices, as we know, were fluctuating. So maybe the home is worth a little bit less at that point than it was when you initially went under contract. That's going to be your most significant con. Is it falling apart? Because it is a domino effect.
And the what if?
We can what if all
What
day.
if I went under contract and I did the contingent, and then the very next day you're going to keep showing your property, but you can get a backup. And the very next day there's another person that looks at the home. They write up a backup offer. They have cash. They just flew in from California. Like, and I can't really move forward with these new buyers because I have committed to these other people. And now I'm just kind of hoping that everything goes well.
Well, we actually have a solution for that
Segue.
one. So let's talk about a 48-hour first right of refusal, what that is, and how we can leverage that in this market if you're on the selling side. You don't typically propose this on the buying side because we're structuring it in favor of the buyer, but because the contingent offer is not structured in favor of the seller, this is how we make it slightly more favorable for the seller. So a right of first refusal, this is language that Todd and I have put together that you can put in the additional provisions of your contract to buy and sell. And what it says is the seller shall have the right to continue to offer the subject property for sale. In the event another acceptable contract is received by the seller, the buyer shall be notified and given 48 hours to remove the contingency pertaining to the sale of their property. Evidence of the ability to perform must be provided by buyer, and seller has sole discretion to proceed with the contract. If the buyer does not notify seller in writing within 48 hours after receipt of notice that is their intent to waive the contingency pertaining to the sale of their home, this contract shall be terminated and buyer shall automatically release sellers from any obligation, and all deposits shall be returned to buyer. Once the buyer has accepted an offer on the sale of their property and provided proof to the seller, this first right of refusal clause shall be null and void. So let's explain what that means.
Yeah. So we're under contract. I'm the buyer. I have to sell my house. Now, as a buyer, I was like, I'd really like to sell my house, but I don't have to. But I'd really like to. I've got a lot of equity in it. I've got a plan B. I've got a plan C. But I don't have to do those things right now because the market's a little different. And I think I can get away with writing an offer contingent. So I write it up contingent. The seller says, hey.
I'm only been on the market for 3 days. I don't know that you're my best option.
I'm going to do a 48-hour first right of refusal, which means I'll move ahead with you. But if something better comes along, I'm going to let you know I've got a better offer. And better doesn't mean a higher price. It just means something that I like.
Maybe non-contingent.
Non-contingent, most likely. I notify you and say, hey, Mr. Buyer, I like this other offer better. Can you remove your contingency? Now, Mr. Buyer says, I had plan B and C. I can remove it. I have other ways to buy your home. I'm moving forward. Now, I could have been the buyer that said, if I can't sell my house, I can't finance it. That buyer says, I'm out. You take the other offer. What we don't want happening is creative agents going, well, we still have the contingency of financing. So maybe we can keep moving forward on your house. And if we don't get it sold and we don't remove the contingency, we'll just say you couldn't get your loan.
And we'll terminate 5 days before
That
closing.
is not going to work because we will all see that the house is not sold. You did not remove your contingency, or you removed your contingency without selling your home, and now you can't get financed. That seller has every reason in the world to go after that earnest money. So you really want to make sure you educate your buyer correctly that in the event that you say, I'm taking that contingency away, I haven't quite sold my house, maybe it's under contract, I feel really good with the buyers and I'm willing
to
risk it. We're back to risking earnest money. Again, we can't make them buy the house. The worst thing that could ever happen to a buyer is I lose my earnest money. But at that time of removing the contingency and moving forward, your buyer's earnest money is at jeopardy.
Yeah, it just means,
Period.
yes, they can still terminate on inspection. Yes, if the appraisal comes in low, they can still negotiate that. They just can't say, I'm not buying your home because mine didn't sell. So that contingency is completely removed. If their loan gets denied because they lose their job, whole different ball game. That doesn't, pertain to this language. But if your buyer is, willing to move forward without the contingency in order to get the house, then yeah, they can't terminate and get their earnest money back.
Con for the seller. It sounds great for the seller. It's like a bird in the hand. I got a deal, but I'm seeing if I can get a better deal. Once you're under contract, even though it's contingent in the MLS, this goes under contract,
You have to change it to pending status.
which is going to limit the number of showings you get.
So you can still market the property in the sense you can hold open houses, you can do social media posts, you can do flyers, any kind of marketing you want, but it has to be in pending status in the MLS. Now you can search pending listings with a first right of refusal clause. So maybe you have, just on the flip side, real quick afterthought, maybe you have a buyer that hasn't been able to find a home. Go in and search pending listings that have a right of first refusal on them. Maybe you'll be able to find something that fits them. But most buyers and buyers agents aren't searching the pending listings. Like, you're checking active, and that's really all you're focused on. So your showings will go pretty much down to nothing.
Yeah. I mean, because as a buyer's agent, the last thing I want to do is go get them all excited about a house they might not be able to get because it's got a contingent offer on it, and we get them all excited and they write the offer and the other person removes the contingency. I'm like, great, I'm back to square one showing my buyers. So it's going to definitely discourage people from viewing that home. But it's better than just throwing everything out and saying, I'm 100% with this new buyer that has to sell their house. So there's a little give and take for both parties.
Exactly. But no, this scenario could work really, really well if you had multiple showings on your property and several buyers were interested, but nobody's quite pulling the trigger, and someone finally does pull the trigger and you say, well, I want to put in the 48-hour contingency in the event that maybe one of these other buyers writes a backup offer, comes out of the woodwork, then it helps the seller just a little bit. But just know your leverage as far as the marketability of the property in the MLS, it does have to be in pending status. So you're just not going to get the visibility. So
Questions?
it's a big clause. It's a lot of information. But now that we're seeing more of these in the marketplace, if you guys are going to start doing these, we want to make sure that you're doing them correctly and leveraging what you can and knowing the pros and cons yourself, because if you don't know them, it's really hard to explain them to the other party.
Did you see me looking at you, Karen, when I said questions?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So my question is this from the listing side. So if you take a contingent offer and we can still market it, we have different ways to push our marketing. But if we put an open house that's under contract with a contingency in RE Colorado, is it going to populate everywhere? Do we know that?
I don't know the answer to that, because yeah,
Me
you can
neither.
advertise your open house
The
in the MLS.
syndication, because syndications only take active listings, and because it's showing
Right.
pending, there's a good chance it doesn't get. It's not a matter of RE Colorado pushing, it's a matter of those syndicated sites pulling and whether or not they will pull that information. So there's a good chance not, but the biggest places, Realtor.com, Zillow, KV Core, things like that, you can
Manually.
push. So you might have to push versus hoping that they pull.
And there are
Okay.
a lot more people right now that are driving around. So if you have a lot of open house signs, you're likely going to attract a lot of buyer interest just off your signs alone versus people that are actually looking online. It's great to have both. We want to tackle all angles, but if you can't get that exposure through the syndication sites pulling the information, just put out tons of open house signs and canvass the neighborhood before your open house, handing out postcards, letting people know you're holding it open.
This isn't an open house class, but we're seeing open houses again, and we're having to talk about things that we haven't talked about for many, many years. And there's people here like, open houses. I haven't done an open house for 5 years, 10 years, never. I'm brand new and nobody's given me an open house.
A
'cause
listing hasn't been on the
it's
market
sold
long
too
enough.
quick. I didn't even put, you have for sale signs. I didn't know you put signs in front yards. I mean, it's so different now. Rule of thumb, one person, one viewing for every sign. So if you're an agent that likes to put 3 signs up, count on maybe 3 people coming to your open house. You're an agent likes to put up 4 signs, you might get 4. The more signs,
The more
come
people will
back
come.
and tell me, oh, Todd, you were right. The more signs, the better. If you can get 10 signs up, you will increase your traffic. It's just the way it works. So little marketing tidbit.
Yeah. Other questions?
Lots of open house signs.
On any other questions on this contingent offer stuff from buyer side or seller side? And just to piggyback on Amir, I mean, just in the last 4 days, I've talked to 4 equity agents that have, I mean, literally every single day, they've been putting contingent offers under contract. So, and on the buy
we're
side,
not adding Karen. That's
yeah,
5.
yeah, and on the buy side, it's their buyers.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, start
It's
utilizing
working.
these if you guys
Well,
can.
did you talk to Beth? Was she one of them?
Beth Goddard is one of those.
Because
one
yeah,
of
she
those
just got
4.
under contract.
Yep.
So it's working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely working. So.
All
All right.
right.
Awesome, guys. Let's continue on if there aren't any other questions.
Company announcements.
I'm really excited about this part. I mean, I love stats and I love talking about market changes and arming you guys with what you need to be successful, but I'm really excited about this next part.
Who wants to talk about this? Paul, Todd, Stacy?
You talk about it, Todd.
Okay.
It was really your idea, so you get to share it.
You know, I should go back here. If you guys ever wonder what I do, because you guys don't get to talk to me that much anymore. I'm the idea man.
He's like the guy, he sits at his desk and like the light bulb goes off on the top of his head. He's that guy all day long. It's like lighting up and he writes things down. He's the idea man.
Idea man.
It's where all the magic happens.
And then
Paul and I are like the elves.
they
like
go and do the little things.
We run
yeah.
out and do all the little tasks. And you might think it was Paul and my idea, but it really comes from the mastermind.
I'm a good delegator.
In addition to supporting us when we have questions about
Well,
the
and
questions
then
you're asking.
I'm the fireman who puts out the fires, the
All day
real
long.
fires.
Yeah. Oh, there's a fire every day.
So our quarterly sales meetings that we've had, we are revamping and going big time.
It's like we're injecting them with steroids.
Yeah, really are. And the first one will be in September, but then that's just going to be kind of a baby one. It's going to even get even bigger, but we're now going to call these quarterly workshops. Okay. Networking. And when I say networking, this isn't just, well, let's show up for breakfast and kind of walk around. We, Stacy, Paul, and I, and with the help of Amir and Brianna too, will help the dialogue. We kind of said, kind of like speed dating. We're going to have programs and it's going to have direction on how are we going to network? What are we going to learn from each other? How are we all going to learn from everybody? So we've got some really cool, exciting ideas. I'm not going to let you guys all know everything.
Yeah, and I like the way Paul kind of describes it in his bullet point is it's networking, truly getting to know your equity colleagues through dedicated roundtable activities. So it's not that you're just going to sit next to someone and say, hi, my name is, what's your name? Where'd you grow up? What was your, we're actually going to give you guys direction on what you're going to talk about and what you're going to share and what you're going to try and learn from each other. So it's going to be really cool.
It might even be kind of a little BNI-ish. I mean, we're pulling all kinds.
Networking. We're pulling from a lot of different angles and it will be different every time. So just because you attend one portion or one quarterly workshop that has a networking, we're going to switch it up and change that networking component every single time. So
yeah, networking, business building. Truly, we're going to not, of course, Stacy and I mean, we've got 50 years of real estate experience between the two of us. And we'd like to share more of what is it that we do that still is extremely relevant, and the things that we see in some of our existing agents that are very systematic, very good at marketing. We're going to pull all kinds of different ideas and strategies together and really show you guys how to implement these ideas. So business building, again, on steroids. It's the step-by-step, do this, but again, it's going to be different every quarter. We will even have a role play where we actually show you how do you do a listing presentation? What are you saying in a listing presentation? How are you overcoming objections in that presentation with a seller or with a buyer? So
Yeah, and for those of you that just got butterflies when we said the word role play,
you guys aren't
it's
doing
not
it.
you doing role plays with each other. It will physically be Todd is standing up front, Stacy is standing up front. Today, Todd is the seller interviewing Stacy for the listing. And we're going to do some role play dialogue so that when a seller asks you a question, what did Todd and Stacy say? How can I use that and make it my own? We don't want you guys reinventing the wheel. And as the market continues to change, there's a lot of stuff that we learned through our real estate career that's going to be very, very applicable to you guys. And we keep hearing you asking for more dialogues, more language. What do I say when someone says this? And that we're really excited to bring to you guys is those actual role play scenarios.
We'll also do, let me bring in Carrie. Sorry about that. We'll also have another panel. It's been several years since we've been, it's been several years since we got to do anything normal. So yeah, and, we will also have some panels where we bring in some of our agents. When I say top agents, it doesn't always mean the most productive. I mean, top to me is any of you that this is your full-time career, and maybe you went from selling 4 homes one year to 12 homes the very next year. What did you do? Because we have a lot of people who are only in the 4 and want to get to the 12. And then we have people who are at the 12 that want to get to the 16. And then we have 6 people at the 16 that want to get to the 30. And every one of those is a different growth. And there's different things that you can put into your business. And so I want to make sure that we're pulling ideas from all different types of agents to help all of you get to whatever level it is that you're trying to get to. So yeah,
we're super excited about that. And so there will be a seminar kind of concept to this. We'll do, some company announcements, the networking, the round table, but it will be very seminar workshop style where you guys will be taking notes. You will be writing things down. You will be implementing these into your business. And we're going to be sharing really broad, in other industry professionals. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, we're extremely excited about it. The first one will be in September.
Yep.
It'll be 2 hours.
Yep. 2 hours, September 14th, which is a Wednesday, our normal sales meeting date.
But instead of, our first half hour was kind of breakfast and just kind of hanging out, we're going to start right off the bat and get going. Come first of the year, this may be pushed out to 2.5, 3 hours, but it's going to be in segments. So you might be someone who, I just want to know what's going on, company announcements, some stats, blah, blah. We will have it broken down into, little chunks. So maybe I just want to come and, the listing presentation, that role play is going to be done from 9 to 10. I need to show up for that. I've got an inspection at 10. I can go to that. So this won't be I have to be here for 3 hours straight. If you want to, we'd love you to be there, but we're going to break it down so that you can get what you need from your meeting and just really make it extremely valuable.
Yeah. And so we'll have 5-10 minute breaks in between the segments for you to get up, move around, check voicemail. So if you are one that is staying for the entire thing, or you can hop in, hop out. So that should hopefully help with your scheduling. But we're going to put out the calendar early. We're going to, give you guys an idea of what we'll be covering each session so that you can plan accordingly. And we won't be redoing content. Like if you miss this workshop, we won't be re-delivering that same content for who knows how long. So
yeah,
mark your calendars.
Yeah. If I'm doing a role play,
I'm only getting it once out of you.
Yeah.
And can I piggyback? Please show up. We are trying to accommodate to as many people as possible. And those who want in-person events, you guys have to show up to these in-person events to make them worthwhile and engaging for everybody. So tell everybody in the company, spread the word, let them know we're doing this. We want a huge turnout on these.
Yeah, definitely.
Great point.
I mean, especially with the networking. I mean, you guys learn a lot from each other, and the way that we're going to put the networking together, you're going to learn more than you ever thought you could learn from each other. And then we're going to all learn as well. So yeah, we're super excited. These are going to only be quarterly. People, let's go back to the monthly. You know what? Monthly is too easy to go. I'll hit the next month. I'm going to not make it this month. I'll hit the next month. And then the size gets smaller, and it takes a lot of effort for us to put these things together. And then you're like, well, I missed that because I thought I was going to do the next one. Why don't you just redo it? If we plan these out, let you know in advance when it is, what it is, you just, when you're writing up your contracts, you don't do your inspection on this day. I have an appointment already, and you just schedule it out and you show up. So that will be quarterly, and yeah, we'll have the dates out. Well,
Will it be at 10 o'clock? Like, will it be 10 to 12?
So we're going to start at 9:30.
Yeah.
And so September will be 9:30 to 11:30. And we will have a continental breakfast catered in. So if you want to grab, a little bit of food before.
Yeah, we'll
you
still
sit down.
breakfast like we've always done.
Yep. And then as we progress into next year and we make them a 3-hour, we'll end up changing
That'll
that
probably go
time
9
frame.
to noon.
Probably 9 to noon is what we'll end up doing.
And the 9 to noon, we might have a guest speaker for an hour that's going to be doing training. I mean, you will know well in advance, but again, they will be segments that you can attend, and you'll know that, you know what, the reason I come to these is for the networking. I love getting in the little round tables, and we get the little question, and we all kind of play with the question. And then we have the head monitor guy, and Todd asks that guy, what did you get the best from that group? And so, yeah, it's going to be very interactive, and maybe that's what all you want to get out of it. Or maybe you're like, I really don't like being in group environments. I really don't like connecting.
I want to come for Todd's role play.
I just want to, what do they say? I want the dialogue. Great. Come for the, the third half, the third. And,
but yeah, if you're
and
trying
learn
to
that.
time block your schedule, it will always be morning sessions.
Yes.
We'll never hold you past 12 o'clock. So if you need to schedule a home inspection or a closing, know that once 12 o'clock hits, your schedule is your own. We will only do morning stuff for you guys.
So yeah, super excited about that. Thanks,
Yeah.
Paul, for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're not doing our quarterly workshops, Paul, tell us what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. So a nice segue for those of you who are like, I really liked monthly events and I want to do more frequent in-person connections. Don't worry, there's more coming in our presentation here that'll keep you guys engaged and on to the next, meeting as well. So stay tuned. But the monthly minutes vlog, that's going to be a new segment that I will start shooting. And rather than host an official sales meeting, we're condensing these sales meetings, similar topics, industry updates, company announcements. We'll do awards and special recognition. I want this to be kind of a fun news segment style vlog. We're all on YouTube nowadays, and we see these quick 10 to 15 minute videos. And the intention with the monthly minutes vlog, you watch these consistently. They're published at the same time each month. And that is your news source to keep apprised of what's going on in the industry and in the company. And a couple of reasons we're doing this. It gives us more flexibility. I mean, as Todd mentioned, everybody is kind of moved to virtual, and we're having trouble tracking down guest speakers and stuff. Well, now I can have them record a quick 2 to 5 minute segment and incorporate that into my vlog. So it's going to be this really cool format where it's going to be entertaining, kind of fun. I'll keep it fast paced. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this. It's something that allows us to be creative and stay in front of you guys and get you information consistently, both on YouTube, Facebook. We're going to publish it everywhere. So that's the new monthly minutes vlog.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And I think this morning is a perfect example. I mean, really, we are running around with all of our technology, getting this stuff set up. And it's not just today, it's every month doing this stuff, Zoom, Facebook. And without a doubt, there's always something that's not working perfectly for us. So instead of trying to do that, if we can record it, make it a little more fun, a little more quick, digestible whenever you want to see it. And then, frankly, one of my roles is keeping Paul happy. And Paul loves being creative. And we enjoy that outlet. And so this will be fun, thing for us to do. So we're excited about doing that. So
that'll be on the off months.
That'll be
when
on
we're
the
not
off
doing
months.
the in-person stuff. You'll still get your company updates, announcements, Power Pro recognition, all just in a nice, concise video.
And might I add, now is the perfect time to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that is where I'm really going to be pushing. That's where the content's going to start. And we'll have a nice, neat playlist, just like the Legal Bites videos. I know some of you monitor. You'll know when we post a new video, and then I will then push it to the other resources like Facebook, our weekly update, etc. But YouTube, that's the straight source right there.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
There's a lot
Order
more.
now, and we'll throw in.
And if you've noticed, well, they're making some changes, and it's August. You can do things now. You don't need to wait to the first of the. A lot of people wait to re-up their business. You know, the first year of the year as an agent, I think I'm going to do something different in my marketing. Now, just do it now. We came up with some ideas. The world feels a lot better now. So there are some things that we want to just jump in and start changing. And so we've got more exciting things, more opportunities for us to get together. And that's what we've all been missing. So
yeah, and I think that's what we're hearing the most from you
Yes.
guys is we love all the content, but we want to do it in person. So can we get together more?
oh my gosh.
Power Pro luncheons
Luncheons.
are back.
I mean, we have agents who are with us that don't know we ever did this. That
Yeah.
have joined us in the last 2 years that never got to experience a Power Pro luncheon. So these are back. We're so excited. So Power Pro, qualify 2 closings in a month, paid out. That is key. As those of you who have closings with us, you know that our system is put upon you to make sure that the title company properly executes the payment to us and to you by following up with them and making sure everything happens. I only know when you have a closing when they do their job properly. If you had a closing and we don't get the information from the title company, I don't know it. And it's way too hard for us to track stats on when you closed it, but you didn't get around to getting the title company to do things on time. And it might have taken 3 extra days. And by then it rolled into the wrong month. So 2 closings that close and pay out in a month, you're qualified to come to our luncheon. So our first luncheon, we are back Tuesday, September 13th at 12 o'clock. So that is the day before our in-person sales meeting. And this will be happening every single month.
What's a sales meeting, Todd? I don't think I get it.
Quarterly workshop.
Oh, a quarterly workshop.
Quarterly workshop.
We got to get away from the sales meeting. Yes, our quarterly workshop, Paul. Thank you for saying that.
So all of you that close and have 2 closings in the month of August that pay out will get invited to our September luncheon. We'll announce the location to all of those that qualified. We meet up. Todd and I and Paul treat you to lunch. It's going to be really fun. You get to synergize in a small group. We are so excited to bring these back after 2.5 years.
Yeah, and the whole purpose I started this, 12 years ago, was an opportunity for you guys to get together, get to know each other, because the industry is so different now. I mean, we're just not together. We don't do group tours like we did 15 years ago. So this is a way for you guys to get to know each other. And then I really like to try and, if we can, ask everyone, what is it that you do? How do you run your business? Are you someone who's doing a bunch of stuff, online? You're doing a bunch of SEO stuff, or you're just really good at socializing with your network and staying in front of them. So I try to help facilitate you guys walking away with some valuable information other than just a lunch and saying hi. But if we can walk away with, you know what, I got to meet Teresa and she does, and if you can get, I love that. Teresa's driving. Be careful.
Careful, Teresa.
Yeah, if you can get one idea or one tip plus a free lunch.
Yeah, that's why we do it. So socializing's nice, but walking away with some kind of knowledge That's what's really makes this valuable. So we're excited to bring these back. Again, you will be notified if you're not watching your transactions. We are. You'll get notified when the luncheon is, where it's at. We try and move it around here and there.
But yeah, so September will be the first one, and then we'll continue them October, November, December, every single month. So yeah, that is one of our upcoming in-person activities.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Is it
Okay if I jump in here?
Yeah, jump
go for it.
in.
Yeah, so in-person training events, we are back in action, and we've got, I think, 3 or 4 in-person events that we want to talk about today. But keep an eye on the calendar. Maybe you forgot that there's a Google Calendar back there in Elevate that showcases all of the upcoming trainings, both in person and online. And the first upcoming in-person training event is Tuesday of next week, Title Bootcamp 101, 2 free CE credits. I don't love the word bootcamp nor 101 because we have experienced agents who call the hotline and say, hey, can you help me read a title commitment? What should I be looking out for? This is the class that you will want to attend because Sana Hassan and Tanya Lucero of Land Title are going to show you what to watch out for in a title commitment. And they're even doing a bonus marketing lunch and learn. So again, one more resource to learn how to grow your business. It's important to talk to other people in the industry outside of selling homes. Sana is such a great salesperson, and there's so much you can learn from her just with the way she talks to people. So attend, and again, camaraderie, meet agents. So Tuesday, next week, August 16th, let us know if you can attend, 2 free CE credits. This one is not in person, but a quick plug. Todd and I have been doing our KV Core series, and we're going to take it one step further with our next course, Wednesday, August 17th, so a week from today, 3 p.m. This is going to be an open forum FAQ and workshop. There's no curriculum. We're all just going to log into the KV Core system, and Todd and I will be your tour guides. Ask questions. What are you getting stuck on? We really cannot express the true power behind KV Core. And I think this will be a nice way to get you guys past that. Maybe there's an intimidation factor there. It's a new tech and that might be intimidating. So bring your computer, log into Zoom. We will walk you through that process. Rapid fire. We'll keep them coming.
Keep them going.
Another great course. How many of you, maybe some of you remember Lisa Suazo? She is just such a cool person. She's so great at social media and tech, and she's going to be teaching 2 classes back to back on Wednesday, September 21st. The first one, Mastering Database Marketing. We chose this class because it's kind of her interpretation of Buffini and working by referral and staying in front of your sphere. So this course is really good because it's already things we're teaching here at Equity. But as you'll see in that last sentence, couple these ideas from this class with the power of KV Core and marketing to your database, you will be unstoppable. There are transactions waiting to be pulled from your sphere, and we encourage you all to tap into that. So definitely attend that Wednesday, September 21st. And then Carol, I see that you're on the call. I know I sent you an email about this one. We read every single one of your surveys, and Carol was nice enough to say, hey, I really want a social media class. And so immediately following Lisa's database marketing class, she's going to be doing Stand Out on Social Media. So she's going to be talking Facebook, Instagram, just different ways you can grow your database and your social media presence. And again, she's one of the best in the industry. She's very, very knowledgeable in this field. Great instructor. That's in person, DTC office. I need a break. I need some, just kidding. Rapid fire. And so the next big one, we've scheduled our next Brian Buffini course. And this is going to be the 100 Days to Greatness course. So Brian's most recent course. So this is building habits and again, marketing to your sphere, working by referral, how to stay energized and not burn out in the industry. If you've heard us talk about Brian Buffini, you know the importance. I tell this to everybody who I interview who comes through these doors. All of our top producing agents have taken a Brian Buffini course multiple times. So that's going to kick off September 20th, which is a Tuesday. And we're going to do it from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in person.
Yay. In
Yep.
person.
In person.
And might I add, I think the best thing, there's some people on the call who can probably talk about this, the integration with the group. I mean, you guys are bouncing ideas off of each other. You're learning from your successes, your struggles. It's an accountability group, and we're watching these Brian Buffini videos together. But the synergy from these meetings is probably the most special piece about these. Let's see what else. $395 for these courses. Again, we're not making money off this. We teach them because these courses work. We've tried everything. So $395, but Equity does reimburse you $100 for every transaction that goes under contract during that 12 to 14 week time frame that the classes is going on. So sign up, invest in yourself. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, and if I could, if your business, who's this for?
Everyone.
Anyone whose business is not where they want it to be, period. Your business, you could be selling 20 homes a year. Is it where you want it to be? Not quite. This class is for you. I guarantee everyone, regardless of how long you've been in the business, myself included, Greg Tiffin included, my wife included, if we were to take this class, we would walk away going, oh, that's a good one. If I just did this one thing, I'll probably do another 2 deals this year. Okay, the average sales price again is over 600,000 at 3%. That's an extra $40,000 this year by investing a little bit of time and knowledge. So who's this for? Anyone who is not exactly where they want to be. If you're like, you know what, I am good to go, I am rocking where I want to be, wherever that is, great. But if you're looking to do more business or do more business with less effort or be more efficient,
Or do the same amount of business and make more money.
Same amount of business, make more money. If you're someone who ever has a hard time feeling your value, therefore you maybe give away some of your commission. Maybe you're not the best negotiator and you end up kicking back for your buyers or kicking back for your, this is a good class for you.
If you're someone who wants to set up daily habits and routines and a more disciplined structure and have camaraderie to help get you there, this is for you.
If you're someone who hasn't entered anything into KV Core yet,
this is for you.
I'm still perplexed when I look at how many uploads we have of contacts in the KV Core. And I don't know if this is a matter of, I don't have a database. I don't know how to do it. I don't get it. But by the number of people who've done it, I'm thinking we just aren't great at putting that database together. And I don't know what it is. And
This will help you.
this will help you. So yeah, sign up and sign up soon, because we will only take 12 to 14 people, and then we got to shut it down because we got to keep it a manageable group, and we will have more people probably that want to take it than
Openings.
openings. So yeah, good.
And keep an eye out for the weekly update. We still need to do some back end work to get the registration link up and running, but you will see that in the next weekly update. So
Awesome.
September 20th.
So all kinds of stuff going on. It's like,
Yeah.
we're
Rapid, yeah.
We're back.
Just-
We're back,
full
back.
force. Not trickling slowly, like we're back,
Yeah.
guns a-blazing. So we're excited to see you guys in person at all these different training opportunities.
And then I have just a couple of fun little shout outs here. So Michael Carter, for turning in your surveys. So when you guys close a transaction, hopefully you all know, and again, if you're new to the company, you might not know this. When you close a transaction with us, we at Equity send you a survey and ask, how are we doing? I mean, I don't know what company asks, how are they doing? At least not in the real estate industry, but we ask, how are we doing? And by you filling out that survey, we enter you into a drawing every single month. And the drawing is for 1,500 or 250. And Michael Carter from our office this last month, he got second place, won $500. So that's kind of fun. So thanks, Mike, for always
Fills out
always
his
fills
survey.
out his surveys.
Yeah.
And he says some really nice things. And
Yeah,
I
and gives
really
us
appreciate
really
that. Good
good
feedback, helpful feedback.
Yeah. And class ideas.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So we read these guys. So we do appreciate when you guys do that. And this is a fun one. Is Carrie on today? I don't know if I saw Carrie
I
on.
don't think I
I
saw
don't think I see her.
Carrie, you're missing your big shout out though.
Oh, she is on. She
I'm
is on, guys.
here.
Oh, yay. Carrie was recognized. This is company wide. We have 4,000 agents in the entire company throughout the country. This is the first time I believe we've had anyone from our office rank in the top 5 company wide for the month of July. Carrie Schmidt was ranked number 5, 6 transactions. And we all know how hard it is right now to do a transaction. That's a tough market. So congratulations, Carrie. That's a lot of fun. I was excited to see it when I got my little update from corporate. So very cool.
Way to go, Carrie.
She's one you want to rub elbows at the next luncheon.
Yep.
Back to gallery. Those of us on video, clap.
Yeah. Good job. Good job.
Okay,
All
and
right.
then
Let's do some more shout outs.
more shout outs here.
And then we'll wrap it up
Then
and
we'll-
have you guys out of here.
Yep. Let's see here. Back to share. And then for the award, well, of course, Carrie was the number 1 for our office since she was 5 in the company, but July. Most transactions, Carrie Schmidt with 6 transactions. Top sales volume, Allie Nelson, very good with over 2 million and 2 transactions. That's a good average you got there. So well done, Allie. Michelle Fisher with 3 transactions, Zahara with 3 transactions, and then everyone else, Power Pro, 2 transactions. So we got Karen Beisner and Mark Baker, Whitney Knight, Jonathan Hammond, Eileen Kitko, Julie Felson, Rocky DeFalco, Beth Goddard, Vicky Opapari, and Michael Carter. So congratulations
to all of you.
Good job, everyone. So yeah, that's just rocking. Super proud of everyone. And last but not least, if you do have a new or coming soon listing, please do post that onto our Facebook group where this is being recorded, and we will upload it for those that were not able to attend last minute as we threw this together. So anyway, any
questions?
final thoughts? Anything we can do for anyone?
So great to see all your
Yeah.
faces on our screen today.
And we're going to see you all next month, sales meeting. Let's just have fun. Let's just be together, and we're going to bring some amazing content. We're just super excited about the future and getting back to some things that made us who we are. So yeah, super excited.
All right,
Thanks,
everybody
Brianna.
have an amazing week.
Go get them. We're here if you need us. Good
Yep.
to see you all.
See you guys. It's great seeing everyone. Take care.
Bye, everybody.